Hello and welcome to the Tech Clean California relaunch webinar for single-family HVAC and heat pump water heater incentives. This webinar will be recorded and hosted on our Tech Clean California YouTube channel. At the end of this presentation, we will have time for Q&A, so please hold your questions until the end. Starting with the HVAC incentives for single-family homes in our webinar presentation today, we will highlight key updates, eligibility requirements, and new procedures for participating. If you haven't already, be sure to read our full knowledge base article entitled Single-Family Heat Pump HVAC Launch, July 15, 2025, for more details and program rules. Beginning with participation requirements, the Tech Clean California HVAC program is open for enrollment to California licensed contractors. They must carry an active B General License or C20 HVAC license. If you are new to the program, you must complete enrollment and training requirements. To begin, you'll start at the Switches On website. Please visit switcheson.org, where you can submit an enrollment application and join their site listing of contractors for your customers to locate your information. For contractors resuming their participation from the most recent program, there is no additional tasks to complete to continue your enrollment. To ensure you understand any program changes, please be sure to review all updated program rules in our contractor knowledge base article. Regarding project eligibility, we first want to begin by sharing an update to the definition of what constitutes a single-family project. Single-family projects are only those that are for individual single-family residences, including a residential property with a maximum of one dwelling unit, an accessory dwelling unit, known as an ADU, or an individually owned mobile or manufactured home that 1. Is on a foundation and 2. Does not have an axle or license plate. Please note that the previous definition of single-family projects that included 1 to 4 dwelling units no longer applies. This updated definition specifically applies to projects sold on or after July 15, 2025. Project eligibility. This program funding supports projects replacing non-heat pump systems initiated on or after July 15. As a reminder, projects must be replacing a non-heat pump system with a qualifying heat pump HVAC system. Qualifying projects must be initiated on or after July 15. This also means that the submitted terms and conditions document must also be signed on or after July 15. This means projects initiated or invoiced prior to July 15 will not qualify. There is a new updated version to the Tech Clean California Customer Terms and Conditions document. These updates includes changes to the time of use rate enrollment agreement and the addition of a tenant protections notice. You must use this new version of the Tech Customer Terms and Conditions, which will be available starting July 15. If you have a previous copy of this document saved, downloaded, or bookmarked, be sure to replace it with the newest version as soon as it is available for download. We cannot accept previous versions of the Terms and Conditions document for new project submissions, nor can we accept terms and conditions uploaded with missing pages or sections. You can find previous and now outdated versions of the Terms and Conditions document in the knowledge base article entitled Customer Terms and Conditions and Invoice Requirements. New program requirements. Tenant protections are now required for tenant-occupied units. Property owners will be required to execute a Tenant Protection Agreement, TPA, which includes caps on rent increases and protection against evictions based on building retrofits. TPAs will be sent to owners via email for signature directly by the tech team after the reservation request is submitted into IRIS. Reservations will not be approved and installations may not take place until TPA has been fully executed. In addition to the TPA, a tenant notice will be sent to all tenants. The notice describes Tech Clean California and its incentives, building electrification, and explains that the property owner or manager cannot evict or raise rents based on the property's participation in the program. Tenants and building owners will be required to sign the notice as part of customer terms and conditions, and the tenant will receive notice via mail. For additional support, please see the upcoming article, Tenant Protection Requirements, which will be published by the time of program launch. Now, information regarding qualifying equipment, specifically air source heat pumps. Newly installed heat pump systems must meet the following requirements at the time of pre-approval submission. The entire heat pump system configuration must be ENERGY STAR listed, and the heat pump system must be either two-stage or have continuously variable capacity. Heat pump installations alongside a new furnace will not qualify. There is an important new rule for heat pump installations that you need to follow when submitting your pre-approval in IRIS. The key change here is that you are required to enter the ENERGY STAR ID in the Source ID section within IRIS, no longer using the AHRI number. If you enter the AHRI number, your claim will be flagged, and you will be asked to update it with the ENERGY STAR ID. To verify the identity or check the eligibility of HVAC equipment, you can use the Switch is on Product Finder Heat Pumps page. When using this tool, make sure to apply the Tech Clean California filter and look for the Tech Clean California badge. This is the badge shown earlier in the presentation. Eligible equipment configurations will display both the ENERGY STAR ID and the AHRI number. If a piece of equipment has recently been removed from the ENERGY STAR list, you'll see a note indicating the removal date. As a note, the resources listed in this presentation are the only official resources for HVAC and air-to-water heat pump shared in the next slide. For product eligibility verification, always double-check recommendations received from third parties, including from distributors and manufacturers. Contact the program team at tech.contractor@energy-solution.com for direct verification as needed. Importantly, failure to install qualifying equipment after offering a tech incentive to your customer will result in the rejection of your incentive claim and may result in corrective action, including formal warnings or your removal from the tech program. Now, we will discuss information for qualifying equipment, specifically air-to-water heat pumps. In terms of qualified equipment for air-to-water heat pumps, newly installed systems must meet a few specific performance requirements in order to qualify. First, the system must use a refrigerant-to-water or a water/glycol heat exchange. The unit must be able to provide space heating. It also needs to achieve a heating coefficient of performance, COP, of 1.7 or greater at full load capacity, at an outdoor dry bulb temperature of 5 degrees Fahrenheit. And finally, the system must be able to deliver a leaving water temperature of at least 110 degrees Fahrenheit. To verify whether a product meets these criteria, you can refer to the Qualifying Products List, QPL, which is available in the Heat Pump HVAC Single Family Knowledge Base article. The total budget for this program cycle is $20 million, split evenly between two categories. $10 million is allocated for market rate projects, which include air source HVAC systems and air-to-water heat pumps, and another $10 million is reserved for equity qualified projects, which apply only to air source HVAC systems. If the equity budget is fully reserved before the market rate funds are used up, equity-qualified customers can still access any remaining market rate funds. This funding is available statewide, with no geographic restrictions. As always, incentive funds are distributed on a first-come, first-served basis, so it's important to complete and submit reservation requests in early. To check how much budget is left, use the Tech Public Reporting Incentives page. If you need help reading the budget table, there's a guide available called How to Navigate the Tech Budget Table. And as a very important reminder, Do not promise incentives to customers until your reservation request has been officially approved. The tech team will generally send notices when funds are running low. Funding is not set aside until the reservation request is approved, and initiating any project prior to the approval of your reservation request creates a financial risk for you and your customer. Let's take a look at the heat pump HVAC incentives available through the Tech Clean California initiative. Incentives start at $1,000 per unit and can go up to $4,000 per unit, depending on a number of factors. The first thing contractors need to consider when determining the incentive amount is the tenant's income. This is important because customers who meet certain income requirements may be eligible for the higher equity-level incentive amounts. We'll talk more about how to determine income eligibility on the next slide. After looking at income qualifications, the next step is to review the home's existing HVAC system. Specifically, you'll want to confirm whether the customer previously had air conditioning and whether the existing heating system will be fully decommissioned. Both of these factors play a role in calculating the final incentive amount. Now, there are a few key rules to keep in mind when participating in the Tech Clean California program. First, contractors are required to pass 100% of the incentive to the customer. That can happen in one of two ways, either as an instant discount at the point of sale or as a delayed pass-through after the incentive funds have been received. There's also the opportunity to stack other rebates or incentives with the tech program, which can provide even greater savings to your customers. If you're looking for additional programs to combine with tech incentives, a great resource is the Incentive Finder tool at incentives.switchison.org/contractors. One important note: HERA Phase 1 rebates cannot be combined with Tech Clean California incentives, so be sure to check compatibility before stacking programs. Customers also have the ability to apply for a higher equity incentive. The equity incentive is available for residents who verify their income to show that the household income is either of the following, whichever is less stringent: at or below 80% of the area's median income, at or below 250% of the federal poverty level. Customers' income must be verified using the Tech Equity Incentives Verification Portal, tech-incomeportal.com, or, in limited cases, verified through their approved HERA Phase 1 income application, or another approved technology program. At the Tech Equity Incentives Verification Portal website, they can check if they may qualify by entering their county and household size to see their personalized household income limit. For approved income verification applications, a PDF of the verification will be sent to the customer and contractor and must be uploaded into the reservation in Iris in order to obtain the additional adder incentive. Now, let's take a look at air-to-water heat pump incentives, which range from $3,500 to $5,000. Standard equipment earns $3,500 in projects installing qualifying equipment with a low GWP refrigerant, a greenhouse warming potential below 150, are eligible for $5,000 in incentives. Air-to-water heat pump projects are all considered market rate and use the same $10 million budget as market rate air source projects. As mentioned earlier, you can find the QPL for air-to-water heat pumps on the Heat Pump HVAC Single-Family article. As a reminder, reservation requests, called pre-approvals in IRIS, are required for all heat pump HVAC projects. This now includes air-to-water heat pump systems. Submitting a reservation request allows the program team to review proposed projects for eligibility, manage the incentive budget, and ensure that funds are properly set aside for your customers. It is important to remember that funding is not officially reserved until the reservation request has been approved. For a more detailed walkthrough of the pre-approval process, be sure to check out the Tech Knowledge Base articles titled Single Family Application Step by Step and single-family claim reservation rules. We've also updated our onboarding video to cover this process. It's available on the tech website, and you can also find it on YouTube for easy access. On the subjects of reservation requests, pre-approvals, approvals, and rejections, approval timelines typically take about 2 weeks, although delays may occur during periods of high volume. At the time of program launch, we are able to review and approve single-family market rate projects. We are unable to approve any HVAC equity or air-to-water heat pump reservation requests until late August. This pause is due to additional development work required within the IRIS system. An announcement email will be sent as soon as approvals can resume. Once a reservation request is approved, funding will be reserved for your customer's project for 120 days. During this window, the approved request must be converted into a claim and submitted for review. After the 120-day period, the pre-approval may be subject to rejection, and the funding may expire unless an exception is requested and granted at least 15 days in advance. Approval notifications will include the baseline incentive amount authorized for the project. Rejections most commonly occur for the following reasons: missing, incomplete, or improperly executed customer terms and conditions, incomplete or mismatched customer information if applicable, missing income documentation. Please also note, once the program budget is fully reserved, we cannot approve any new or resubmitted pre-approvals, including those previously rejected or expired due to correctable errors. And finally, a reminder: initiating any project prior to the approval of your reservation request creates a financial risk for you and your customer. Both the customer and contractor bear the sole risk of proceeding with a project before reservation request approval. When customers install a new electric appliance, especially after fuel switching that may increase their electricity usage, it's a great time to help them consider if a different electric rate plan could save them money. Customers served by Pacific Gas and Electric, SoCal Edison, or San Diego Gas and Electric may be eligible for bill savings just by informing their utility about their new electric appliance. By the time of program launch, the customer-facing time-of-use rates page on the switch is on website will include updated helpful information along with direct links to utility rate comparison tools. Be sure to check out the FAQs, especially the section titled, "What else can I do to help lower my electricity bill?" This is a good opportunity to talk to your customers about rate options and direct them to this resource so they can take full advantage of potential savings. To help get your claims processed as quickly as possible, it's important to review these knowledge base articles before submitting new claims. Proper preparation reduces pre-approval rejections and claim corrections. Also, when you receive correction requests, address them promptly. This keeps your projects moving smoothly and benefits both you and your customers. If you have questions, rather than leave a note in IRIS which processors are not notified of, please email tech.incentives@energy-solution.com. These knowledge base articles are those especially helpful for quick claim processing. Single-family application step-by-step article guides you through every step from reservation to claim submission, including an Excel file with all required fields to complete your claim correctly the first time. Single-family claim reservation rules article details all requirements and processes for reservation requests to avoid delays. IRIS claim statuses and flags article helps you understand claim statuses and flags you'll see in the IRIS system. Claim corrections and rejections article explains how to respond to corrections and avoid common mistakes that can slow down approval. Note: the following rules and processes remain unchanged. Required documentation, testing, and photos. Eligibility for air source and air-to-water heat pump equipment. project eligibility and replacement scenarios, demand response enrollment, reservation duration limit, 120 days, contractor training and enrollment requirements. For a full list of heat pump HVAC program rules, please review the Heat Pump HVAC Incentive Single-Family article, updated by July 15th. Lastly, we continue to accept resubmissions of Stage 2 tech reservation requests that were previously rejected due to insufficient funding. This applies to requests with an original submission date of January 17, 2025, or earlier, as noted in communication shared on April 21, 2025. If you had a reservation request rejected for funding reasons before that date, please resubmit those now. That concludes the portion of the presentation related to the Tech Heat Pump HVAC program updates. We will now open the floor for any questions. Please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A function here, or email us at tech.contractor@energy-solution.com.